Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, we're talking about Nintendo, and it turns out that Nintendo may be using an emulator to emulate SNES games on a Windows PC in their museum. So this was discovered by Chris over here on Twitter, or X, where he posted a video showcasing the emulator in action. What he ends up doing is disconnecting the SNES controller just a little bit, enough for you to hear a Windows disconnect sound and this menu to pop up. Now, there's a number of things to process here. First and foremost, a lot of people are upset that Nintendo is using an emulator. And I mean, that should be a given. If you take a look at Nintendo in the past, they use emulation. They're against emulation for the rest of the community, but for them, they're okay with it. And I can kind of understand that, considering they own the systems and they own the IPs. But at the same time here, it's generally inconsistent. And for proof that Nintendo uses emulation, I mean, all you have to do is take a look at the NES Mini, the SNES Mini, even Nintendo Switch Online. All of that runs on emulation. That should be no secret. But what I find most interesting is that in the actual Nintendo Museum, they're not using an NES Mini here or an SNES Mini to run the SNES games. They're using a freaking Windows PC. I mean, you can hear it when you disconnect the controller and plug it back in. Those are Windows sounds. And that makes me wonder, what emulator are they using for this process? Are they using their own within Windows here, or are they using something else? The quote I've seen being thrown around quite a bit online is, "Rules for thee and not for me." Let me know your thoughts about that one in the comments below here. I'm very curious to know what emulator they are using on Windows here to have their SNES games run. Now, I would argue Nintendo doesn't necessarily have a clean track record when it comes to borrowing or stealing stuff. I mean, if you take a look a few years back, they were accused of pirating their own ROMs off the internet and repackaging them and selling them in the Wii Virtual Console, Super Mario Bros. Being the key talking point here. It was proven that this probably wasn't the case, but at the same time, well, reputation here, and based on what people were saying, I would say the damage had been done. And on top of that, well, Nintendo was also accused of copying fan art. And on top of that, a number of years ago, Nintendo was sued for Donkey Kong, and that was for copying source code. I'll drop a link to all of these videos in the description below in the event that you wanted to learn more about them. In fact, everything I talk about, link will be in the description below right at the bottom. Anyways, here for this lawsuit, it was settled out of court for an undisclosed amount of money. But it was proven that Nintendo did not own the source code for Donkey Kong. So overall, I don't want to say this is nothing. I don't want to say it's something. I just want to say it's interesting. Next up, we're talking about the upcoming Destiny mobile game, Destiny Rising. And there's a brand new developer preview video on YouTube. Now, the big news here is that the closed alpha starts on November 1st, and there is a pre-registration available. I do recommend checking out the video so you can get the details on pre-registration as well as some of the game. Now, based on my understanding of the game, although I don't have a lot of details yet, you'll be able to play it in third or first person. And pre-registration here is available for Android or iOS. And taking a look at the recommended specs, it says Snapdragon 845 or newer on Android, and for iPhone, iPhone 8 or newer. And it's worth pointing out that on their FAQ page, there's also a link to their Discord, where I'm assuming a whole bunch of details and sneak peeks are going to be shared. Let me know your thoughts about Destiny Rising on mobile in the comments below. Next up, we're talking about the Game Freak hack again and information that's entered the public domain. And if we take a look here, it appears that Pokemon Legends Z-A or Z-A is fully playable from start to finish. That's what's being reported. There is currently a working build for a PC version. However, from my understanding and taking a look at the information out there, I don't think there's a current build of this game available to the public. I don't think it's been leaked online yet for download from a whole bunch of people, and if you stumble across one, chances are it's malware. The leaker here is not planning to release any more details about the game. So I don't know if or when it'll be made public. And continuing to speak about Nintendo, next up here we're talking about Bandai Namco and Nintendo, and it appears that Nintendo may have been collateral damage in a recent workforce cut by Bandai Namco. Now this is being reported by Bloomberg, that Bandai Namco has cut its workforce by about 100 people overall, and has cancelled and paused games based on One Piece and Naruto, alongside a Nintendo commissioned title, but we don't know much about this one. Now, I have seen some people think that Nintendo may have pulled the funding from Bandai Namco, which is a result of the game cut. But who knows here as to what game that might have been. If you know, or if you want to speculate, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And as for the approximate 100 people layoff from Bandai Namco, it's being reported here that they're taking a traditionally Japanese approach to reducing staff and sending workers to rooms where they are given nothing to do, putting pressure on them to leave voluntarily. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. If that is true, that is super depressing. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. And I'm wondering, if you snuck in a handheld into your pocket or something, could you just play that and get paid to play that in a room while you don't have anything to do? Who knows? Next up, we're talking about the upcoming Android 15, and it turns out that Android 15 may be rolling out to phones sooner rather than later. At least that's the latest rumor, and soon as in today or possibly even tomorrow. So there's a post over on a German Pixel community, and I think it was from Google. It's since been deleted. But it confirmed that, well, Android 15 was rolling out today. Now, I've got a Google Pixel 9 Pro XL, and I haven't seen an Android 15 update for it. Maybe I will this evening, maybe I will tomorrow, who knows here. But it seems that we're on the verge of an Android 15 official rollout. Next up here, we're talking about NonSteamLaunchers, and it appears that NonSteamLaunchers was booted from Decky Loader because of, well, personality differences and drama. Now, for those who may not be aware, NonSteamLaunchers is a very easy way to get non-Steam launchers on your Steam Deck. And they say here, automatic installation of the most popular launchers in your Steam Deck. Handle automatically the download and installation of your chosen launchers and the game's artwork included. Now, for those who don't know what Decky Loader is, it's a homebrew plugin launcher for the Steam Deck. It can be used to stylize your menus, change system sounds, adjust your screen saturation, change additional system settings, and even more. So over on Steam Deck HQ, there's quite a bit of detail about this whole story. Steam Deck Homebrew has decided to remove the NonSteamLaunchers plugin from the Decky plugin store, after being shown statements on the Steam Deck related subreddits from its creator in a report. These appear to show continued harassment of members of these communities. We have also discovered harassment from the creator in our own server. We decided to delist the plugin from our store alongside banning its creator to prevent potential abuse of our community and the plugin store. Additionally, on the Steam Deck HQ article, there were links to provide evidence of all of these claims. For example, accusations of stalking and harassment. Although it does say the Steam Deck Homebrew team found no evidence of this. Fighting with a dev of Bazite regarding a removal request. Starting random fights and accusing another user of being creepy and unstable. And starting fights with users in Steam Deck related communities. So there you have it. Feel free to check out these articles. And if you use NonSteamLaunchers and now you cannot find it on Decky Loader, well, this may be the reason. Now, as far as I know, NonSteamLaunchers is going to continue to exist. It'll just exist outside of Decky. And the latest update here was 4 days ago, version 3.9.5. And in this, the developer shares some detail. So they say here, I have some very sad news and very strange news to share. I'm still confused about it, so this won't be a normal release, but it will be the last release for a while. I've been told from a Decky developer that my NonSteamLaunchers plugin will be delisted from the Decky store within the coming day. I was given no warning at first, and now I seem to be somewhat blocked from giving any NSL support in the Discord, and they have also removed my pull request for updating my own plugin. With all of that being said, I have no idea what's going on, nor will they speak to me about it. I'm quite sad and frustrated, as this was the reason I created NonSteamLaunchers in the first place, to become a plugin. I never imagined it would be this useful for people, and I hope many people have been blessed by it. Going forward, I will be taking a break from NonSteamLaunchers and the NonSteamLaunchers Decky projects until I can figure out what happened. So let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comments below. Next up, we're talking about AYN, which stands for Subscribe to Mr. Sujano, or all you need depending on how you want to interpret that. Anyways, AYN just unveiled the brand new Odin 2 Portal. It's got a 7-inch OLED screen at 120 Hz. If you are thinking about purchasing an Odin 2, you may want to hold off until this one is released. AYN says that the Odin 2 Portal will have a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor. And people here are saying, I literally almost just bought an Odin 2 yesterday. I would have been livid. I just got the Odin 2 Pro 5 days ago. I just finished installing and adding stuff. Man, come on. Unfortunately, I don't know release date or price or specific specs just yet. I do know that our very own SRC267, who provides a lot of news tips, has already commented on this video. Next up, we're talking about the Debian community Discord, and if you were a part of that Discord community and you were banned for no reason whatsoever, it appears that things are getting back to normal. From my understanding here, one of the admins went rogue. So here's the latest from the owner of the server. Good morning, y'all. I am the owner of the unofficial Debian community Discord server. Early yesterday morning, we had a rogue administrator ban all 1,100 of our users without any warning. All of those bans have been cleared up. If you were a user of this community, our Discord invite is still the same and we hope to have you back. Sounds like they're having good times over there. So if you were banned and wanted to get back on this server, it appears you can, and things should be back to being smooth. And last up here, we're talking about Nintendo, and it appears that Nintendo is looking for a new intellectual property council. And I'm not sure if they're getting rid of their old one or if this is a new posting altogether, but this is right up on Nintendo's career page. So as for the description of the duties, it says here, negotiate and resolve intellectual property disputes, including inbound trademark copyright and other in-game disputes, as well as outbound trademark opposition and related infringement matters. And it seems they're not messing around when it comes to requirements for the applicants. They say a law degree is required, and at least 5 years of experience as a practicing intellectual property lawyer in a law firm or in-house legal department. And the salary is between $164,500 and $296,000. I don't see billable hours on here, so I'm wondering now if this is a cheaper model for them to use. Now, for full transparency, I've got no idea what Nintendo does for their whole legal side of things. I don't know if they engage separate law firms and use billable hours or just hire lawyers and pay them a salary. I would assume this salary method makes sense and you can have someone fully dedicated to all of this stuff. I mean, based on how vigilant Nintendo seems to be here, I would assume that people work on this stuff full time. So yeah, I guess if you watch my videos and you're an intellectual property lawyer and you wanted to work for Nintendo, well, there's a position open. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. We talked about a bunch today. Let me know your thoughts about absolutely any of it in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate, save your state.